Waterfowl presents Behind the Blind Podcast.
And we're back here with our final episode of Behind the Blind in Saskatchewan, and it's brought to you by Double T British Kennels. For more than 20 years, Double T British Kennels have imported dogs directly from Great Britain to build superior bloodlines. Their top-of-the-line dogs are proven in the field and major field trials. You can learn more by going to britlabs.com and tell them that Heartland Waterfowl sent you. Again, our final episode here from Saskatchewan, and we just keep stacking great day after great day after great day. And today was another one with, a 6-man limit of ducks.
48 ducks.
Yeah, how about it? Good job. Listen, and I'm just going to get this out of the way. My scouting sucks while we've been up here, so kudos.
He wants to get ahead of it.
I do. I do. Want to break you all away from the outlaw moment. Logan and Alex and Champ have just been crushing the scouts, and I have certainly not even come close to that. But you guys found a great field, man. Great hide. Beautiful morning. It was awesome.
Yeah, I wish we could find a field that had swaths in it every time.
Every
to
time,
be able to hide
no doubt.
because obviously that makes the hide so
Makes
much
life
easier. And those ducks were very comfortable in there that we saw last night. Surprisingly, we didn't see. I mean, there's 200 or 300 Canadas in it last night, and we saw like 8 fly today.
Didn't see many.
We didn't see any Canadas today, which kind of surprised me. But the ducks did it right. We shot mallards, widgeon, pintails. I think I saw one gadwall. Right?
Was there one? I
Yeah.
didn't. That might maybe.
It was awesome.
It really was. It was awesome. I didn't do the introduction, by the way. Logan Burditt, Alex Dicedue, Dakota Thurn. I'm Ronnie Philips. Let's just roll into it. Let's see the clips of the day. Again, a 6-man limited ducks.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, you can shoot 8 ducks up here in Saskatchewan. And so let's roll the clip. Cue. Nice long shot.
Those were coming in hot.
Yeah.
That goes crazy. There we go.
Anchor's up.
All right. Let's go.
Oh, beautiful.
Right here.
That was a Logan shot for sure.
Left side. Coming in. Go. There we go.
Awesome.
There's some shooting there. Oh boy.
Nice shot.
It's because I had my duck shirt on.
Everybody. Oh.
Is that it?
That was awesome.
That's just, and listen, that's just a
couple
taste.
clips.
That's just a taste of what you're going to see in the actual final episode of this trip that's coming out on the 27th of October on YouTube. So make sure you're not only subscribed to the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel, but you hit that notifications bell so when that video drops, you can go see all, 5 of the hunts, because we do have one more hunt tomorrow, which kind of leads us into our scout discussion. You guys crushed it again today, and from what I'm hearing from Logan is that there might actually be more ducks in this field that we will hunt in the morning than we hunted today.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe.
It's an area we've been in pretty well all week, and I don't know if we just missed it or what, but they were a mile south, and there might have been some birds in there the last couple days, but we haven't seen as many, not anywhere close to as many.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It hasn't grabbed our attention enough to even take another look at it. And we were driving down that road twice in the last 2 nights. So
we went to go check something that we had seen some ducks on previously during the week, just to go look and see. And there were some in there. And then all of a sudden, Logan's like, I see where we need to go. And there's just a big boil of mallards. And once we got over there, it was kind of hard to see the entire, where the birds were landing. They were kind of landing on the backside of the hill. But we drove in, got permission from the guy, super nice. And we just kind of drove right through his yard, get a better idea of what we were looking at. And it just sits really well. There's 2 or 3 different roosts, it looks like, that all the birds are coming off of. And there's a bunch of ducks, a lot of dark geese. There is some, I don't know, couple hundred maybe snow geese in there. And
So we will have to throw at least one snow goose decoy.
well, we threw one snow goose decoy this morning.
One out there. He'll sneak one out there. Man, it took me literally probably 30 minutes, maybe longer than that.
I still didn't see it after you called it out.
We had a bet going on how long it was going to take you guys to see it.
So are we in layouts or panel blinds?
Probably layouts.
Okay. So it's a wheat field?
Yeah. I don't know. You can't get in there anywhere. There's no road close. Like we're going through the back of his yard, through his canola field to get into it. So it's hard to tell what the stubble's like. I'm assuming we'll be able to just lay out right on there. Most of them are sitting like on the crown of the hill, and that's where we're going to want to be for sure.
And we have a pretty decent wind. It's showing southwest or west southwest at like 10 to 12 in the morning. So should have a good wind.
So after that hunt, we're going to come back. We're packing up, and then we're heading back to the States. And then you can just find out how that hunt went by seeing that episode. Dakota is the one who puts all of this together. He and Q are part of Marathon Media. And what are some of the things that you think that people could see or expect with your production of this particular episode? I'm going to put you on the spot.
A lot of carnage. We haven't had a struggle segment yet.
No.
Which,
knock on wood.
Yeah.
With
one more left.
With the previous years of doing the edits on, like a daily basis, sometimes the episode that goes on television that's the full hunt, you kind of like skip past of some of the days that we really don't do that well. It doesn't get as much of attention, but when we were doing the day by day thing, it's like you got to make an episode with, a rough day. We have none of that this trip.
Right.
So, I don't know what it's going to look like. I have an inclination that it's going to be pretty good
it's gonna
because
be awesome.
I feel like we've worked with a whole lot less before.
Sure.
And made some cool stuff. So, yeah, I'm super excited about it. Canada's cool too because you get to have a mix. You get to have snows. You get to have ducks. There's, we shot honkers on the first day. So, yeah, it's going to be a cool episode. One of my favorite episodes to make is a Canada episode. So,
and that's on a Sunday. Is that right? Sunday, the 27th. Anyway, the 27th at around noon Central Time. Be looking for that video to drop. And excited for you all to see it because this has been an absolutely incredible trip, and there's one more hunt to go. Let's move on to the Ducked Up question of the day. It's sponsored by Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it ain't the duck. The preferred coffee of choice in the blind and around the breakfast table for Heartland Waterfowl and waterfowl hunters in every flyway. Save on a variety of blends by using promo code HW10 at dirtyduckcoffee.com. Let's send it to Q with the Ducked Up question of the day.
All right. Today's ducked up question isn't so ducked, but it's one that I was saving for this last episode.
Oh boy.
So, what is thus far your most memorable hunt in Canada?
Wow.
I'll have
Okay.
to dig through the archives here for a minute.
Alex, let's start with you.
Oh God, I said I had to dig through the archives. Oh my gosh. Man, there's so many of them that I can think back on. And we kind of talked about it earlier when we were going to shoot. Well, the first day, whenever we shot a full limit of darks and we were working our way towards the ducks, is shooting a double of 48, a 6-banded darks and a 6-banded ducks. So obviously I think I'm going to bring up the snowy mallard hunt. I think we bring that up quite a bit, but it's just one of those that just stands out in my mind because we shot 48 greenheads and 48 dark geese. And it was just 25 mile an hour blowing snow.
It was a blizzard.
It was one of the most memorable hunts I'll ever have. So that's what I'm gonna do is the snowy mallard hunt.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that's one for all of us.
Right.
So now you got to
pick something different.
something else.
That's the obvious one. The other obvious one is the pilot episode that got everything going for HW. That was 120 and 45 minutes. That was a real unique hunt, and it was either going to work or wasn't. It was like an only option deal, and we're set up like 200 yards off the water. We thought we were going to blow the roost, and one of those deals where it just worked out. It's hard to choose. I mean, those are obviously the two that stand out, but I mean,
we've had some really good ones.
We've had some
really
unbelievable hunts up here.
We talked about the one where they just peeled right off the water and that wind was blowing so hard in their face they didn't get more than 20 yards off the ground, and we shot 100.
Yeah, we've had a couple really good afternoon hunts that tend to get overlooked too.
Sure. Do you remember what season? Maybe in case somebody's listening and they would like to go get the digital download at heartlandwaterfowl.com and hear it because they've heard us talk about that snowy hunt. Do you remember which season that was? Was it season 3?
The snowy mallard hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4.
Season 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Dakota, do you have the most memorable hunt?
I kind of have two. Because I think that My first was the first time that I came up here with you guys in the spring, and me and Hilly came up and we helped film. I want to put a keynote on that one because I think that trip was definitely, I was like, and I know that like whenever there's a popular place or something like that, like there's like a common saying of like, you know, Saskatchewan sucks, tell your friends, you know, but it was the opposite of whenever I was up here, it was with you guys, and it was a spring snow hunt, and it was just crazy. Like, you know, I had before, it was you get to pull the trigger 5 or 6 times on, you know, Missouri goose hunt, trying to shoot 3 birds. And I remember me, you, and Hilly were shooting, and I just remember we shot a ton, and I was like, "Holy cow, this is crazy!"
That was a fun day.
There was a couple misses in there that accounted for shooting a ton, but I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go and tell people about this. Like, this is crazy. This place is nuts."
So
and I was even
the reason there's so much pressure.
Right, exactly. Saskatchewan sucks. Tell your friends. But I just think that even there, sitting in the blind, it's not necessarily even the birds that you kill, but the amount of birds you see.
Yeah.
And especially like when we were sitting there today, it's just, we were sitting back in those film blinds and we're just like,
some people
look at these ducks, dude.
Yeah. Some people
ducks
duck hunt
flying
don't
around
ever see that
everywhere.
many ducks on
It's wild.
on a hunt.
So that one, and then there was a hunt that we had, and Dice is going to remember this because we took a video and I crawled underneath the birds.
Yes.
But remember those birds were coming right off of the water, crawling up that field.
And we were just
it was
smacking juvies with the doors
we
open.
had doors open. We could do no wrong that day. It was the craziest day of hunting that I've ever experienced because it was just like, it didn't matter. It literally did not matter. Champlin had a sandwich.
He put a shooting
He was
club.
shooting with a sandwich in his mouth.
I got a sandwich in my mouth.
Yeah, and there's one clip that I remember these 2 snows come in, and they were just Cheeto flit, and I was shooting slow-mo that day, and they go upside down, go upside down, go upside down, and then just go perfect. Pink, pink. It was like, if you film waterfowl, it was the perfect clip.
Right.
Yep.
So those are my 2.
In fact, maybe I'll post that one here on the way home or something. We'll just have a little throwback.
The snow goose corner pocket.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, the snow goose corner pocket. I remember that one. Yep.
I'd have to say that I mean, you've already touched on the ones that are the most memorable to me, but if I'm really reaching out to try to find something else for the sake of the conversation, I don't know if it was season 2 or season 3. I just remember that in the final episode, we were in that, I think we were just north of here. And it was that morning that the clouds were really, really low. The sunrise had the sky lit up like a fireball. And I just remember the episode was produced really, really good. The music just matched the theme. I think that was another one of those 120, maybe not in 45 minutes, but it was like an hour and 15 hour, maybe even an hour.
Yeah,
right outside. Do you remember that? I mean, it was just massive wads of geese that were coming in, and just the backdrop with the colors in the sky was really awesome. And so that's another one of those that I'm not going to forget. And only because my scouts were so terrible, I can't forget the year that I had where I could go no wrong with the scout. I'm not going to say the location where I was, but it was.
You did it.
But I crushed that year on scouting. So those were some memorable hunts to me. Let's go behind Q. You got a most memorable Canada hunt?
Man, I haven't been coming up here as much as you guys have, but when I have, I would say top tier for me right now was this last spring, our last day when we just shot the piss out of them in the rain.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
Yep, my most memorable.
That was a fun one.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Very
in
moist.
the rain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember when it rained?
It was the last day.
We were soaking wet.
We had the creek running behind us.
Oh yeah. I fell
You fell in the
68
water.
birds.
Second to
I
last
fell
day.
in the creek.
Yeah, second to last day.
Champlin, what's yours?
I was gonna go with the same one you talked about.
Oh yeah.
You know, you don't normally.
Do you remember what season that was? Was that season 2 or 3?
It had to have been 2.
I thought it was 2 as well.
I think it was 2, and you know, normally you don't want to have to set up looking straight into the sun, but that morning
That was
it
a cool.
all worked out, and it looked.
Yeah.
It was.
The snow's blocked out the sun.
Kind of.
They
There
kind
was
of
so
did a few times.
yeah.
We'll hunt in the shade.
I gotta go with that one. That one was a fun one.
So obviously over the 12 years that we've been producing this show, Canada has been a staple and has become a staple twice a season. And there's a lot of good memories, some of which so that it's
There's too many to
There's
recall.
so
I
many
could
to
talk
recall,
about this for hours.
And it goes back even to season 2 and 3 and even most recently as this last spring. Let's move on to the Outlaw Moment of the Day. If you're just tuning in, or maybe this is your first time listening, the Outlaw Moment of the Day is kind of a funny or a good vibe moment. It's something badass that happened. It's brought to you by Outlaw Beer. America deserves a new light beer. Outlaw Mile High Light Beer, brewed by Tivoli's Brewing Company in Denver, Colorado, is the official beer of Heartland Waterfowl. Learn more about them at outlawbeer.com. It's available now at most beer retailers, and if it's not, make sure you ask them to begin stocking Outlaw Beer as soon as possible. Dakota, what's your Outlaw Moment of the Day?
This really isn't that badass, and I'm probably the only one that thinks that it's cool. It's not funny either, but it definitely is a good vibe for me. When we were on a scout, Dice went up, knocked permission, and I was filming, taking some pics, not really paying attention. Look out there, and there was a golden retriever out in the front yard. And I just love it whenever I see a golden retriever, especially whenever I'm away from home.
Dude, we see them everywhere.
And it literally puts a smile on my face every single time.
That's a good vibe.
But it just was a good vibe. It genuinely brought a smile to my face when I was sitting in the back
What an
seat.
answer.
He was a good boy. He just wanted to get some chin scratches.
Man.
Yeah, I literally was like, "Can I get home?"
Can I pet that dog?
Yeah,
Next house we roll up to, if it's a golden retriever, I'm getting out.
yeah, that's what I said.
So, Champ, why don't you give us your Outlaw Moment of the Day?
Oh. Circle back. I'm still thinking.
Okay. I don't have one either. Alex, what's yours? Go ahead.
I'll go. Again, it's one of those things where like when we're having a good hunt and we're shooting a lot of birds and we get to swap out with Dakota and Q, it's always fun. And for years and years and years, right? We all ran the cameras. We all took turns. We did things. And I enjoy that part of it. So it's fun to me because one, that means we're having a good hunt. We're shooting a lot of birds. I am happy that those guys get to get behind the trigger and shoot. And I like being able to film. So just being able to hop in the camera and film a couple, quite a few volleys of you guys shooting ducks and everything. It was just a fun day.
All right. Logan.
My outlaw moment of the day was also while I was filming. You two bickering back and forth.
God.
Little 5-year-olds about
Classic.
calling the shot, this, that, and
I
another.
knew that was coming.
That was
knew that
definitely
was
my
coming.
favorite. It's always fun watching two guys on our team bicker back and forth about nonsense. And there's a lot of good bickering that goes back and forth between Ronnie and Champlin.
Yes.
So-
There's no shortage of it. That's for sure.
Especially on days that we're hunting ducks and or hunting snow geese.
Right.
Canada, days we're in Canada, both people just keep their mouth shut. But
We're kind of polar opposites
yeah,
when it comes to that. He's a snow goose guy. I'm a duck guy. And he gets a little crabby when he has to shoot ducks. Whoa. Turn up the microphone. Let's hear that. What?
I never said one word about shooting ducks today.
he was just.
That's the
moping
problem.
around. You were moping around like your golden retriever just died.
I had a little bit of a tummy issue this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was on his cycle.
Yeah.
All right.
It was that time of the month. You did sneak off to the woods for a bit, didn't you?
I thought
right.
I took care of the problem, but I think the problem got him.
It was deep enough that whenever before the podcast, Champ came in and hugged Ronnie before the pod.
He thought he probably ought to call it truce before we start recording. I'll go next, and then we'll send it to Q. My outlaw moment of the day was the way we finished the hunt.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
picking
Oh,
at
yeah.
singles and pairs there towards
Oh.
the end.
Yep.
And then I think it was a group of 4 or 5 that came in, and Dakota, well, first of all, they all got mopped up, but Dakota killed 2 birds with 1 shot.
Yep.
And
It was
being
a
that
sweet
he doesn't
volley.
get to pull the trigger very often,
Yeah.
and those were the birds that we needed to fill our limit, that was pretty badass. And
It's always cool when it's like, hey, we need 4 or hey, we need 6, and that exact amount of birds comes in and they all get killed. Like that's the best way to end up.
no doubt.
Ends it on a high note.
Q, what's your outlaw moment of the day?
Let me. You guys can.
You've
probably-
had all of this time to
I
think
know.
about it.
I know. I got the bang, baby. Come
Yeah.
on.
That was your outlaw moment
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Shooting
Got to
greenhead.
shoot.
There were some really good looking ducks too. There was.
Boy, was that
Ducks,
fun.
fatty
A
mallards.
lot of plumed out greenheads. All right, so let's move on as we get ready to wrap this thing up. What's next on the Okay, there we go. Tonight's Scout, we've already kind of talked about that, so we know what we're doing for tomorrow. We want to remind you that we are giving away a prize that we try to do on every trip here on this podcast, and it's the Heartland Waterfowl prize pack for this particular trip. We've got a brand new online store. If you haven't checked it out yet, we put a lot of work and time into it. Go check it out. The new hats and hoodies and t-shirts and new designs coming out regularly. We would love for you to go check that out, and you could be the winner of some of that stuff if, again, you're following us on the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel. Like this video, comment, give us some suggestions on things that you would like us to talk about, whether it's waterfowl related, maybe it's football related, or maybe it's an outlaw question of the day, maybe it's a ducked up question of an episode. Be sure to comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And so we will be reaching out to you, whoever that winner is, at a later date. So for Logan Burditt, Alex Dicedue, Dakota Thurn, Eric Champlin, Quentin Vrlenich, I'm Ronnie Philips. Thank you for watching another episode of Behind the Blind, brought to you by Double TT British Labs. We will see you next in North Dakota in November. Woo!